जग जाएंगे राम आएंगे।
Thank you, Arya, and congratulations to you too, your host for this event. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Shailaja. You know Y Foundation, right? So we have always been supporting good cause and have been in touch with you and your father, who is the author of this book, from last 18 years. So it's wonderful that we are being a part of this event and co-hosting this event.
So
I also got to know that you have started an NGO known as RV Foundation. Can we know more about the RV Foundation?
Sure. So RV Foundation. RV Foundation stands for Rajni Vijay, and that is my mother and wife of Mr. Vijay Kumar. So anybody who knows my mother, they will agree that she was a very large-hearted person and she's always ready to help everyone. So me, my sister and my father, we wanted to continue this legacy through this foundation, and that's the reason why we have set up this trust called RV Foundation. So that's how this whole idea has begun, Arya.
Okay, that's a quite emotional journey to set up a trust, and I'm sure all the objectives of RV Foundation are mostly aligned with also the Y Foundation. And then it's proud to be a trustee of RV Foundation. So I'm also a trustee of RV Foundation along with Shailaja and their family here.
That reminds me, Arya, I think it's more than 15 years, right, since you've set up Y Foundation. So how has your journey been?
Oh yes, thanks for reminding me of this. So it's been actually 18 years. So this year we completed 18 years of Y Foundation. And just for knowledge of everyone, WHY Foundation is known as Working for Humanity with You Foundation. So we started this foundation in year 2007 on 18th of August. Again, we were all working in the same company, Shailaja, me, my colleague Vish, and all of us. So we started brainstorming, what can we do to the society? And from that, idea and brainstorming, we started this foundation with a small, 5 people who were volunteers and trustees at that point. And over 18 years, we have grown this in a huge organization. Currently, we are having around 5,000 plus volunteers who support us on occasional basis. Also, people who have been associated with us kind of know us as a weekend foundation. So all our activities are planned and implemented only on the weekends, that is Saturday and Sunday. That is again majorly because all of us involved are majorly working professionals in different setup, different companies and industries. So we take time off our personal schedule and do all these activities. So started in 2007, we started with free computer education to the government school children, and later on supporting old age homes and conducting multiple activities. However, in 2015, we kind of reorganized our objectives and said let's focus and support more of education and support more of government schools. Since then, we have supported more than 50,000 students across Vikarabad and Hyderabad, across 55 plus schools. And all of this has been really a good journey, and without everyone's support, it would have never been possible for us. So that was a wonderful journey, and thank you, Shailaja, for introducing Vijay Kumar sir as our CA, who is being part of this journey from the beginning of the foundation. That's about the Y Foundation.
It's actually so often we hear people saying we don't get time for anything, but somehow you people, not just for your personal lives, but also taking up time for charities on the weekend is like really inspiring. And we at RV Foundation are taking our baby steps now, and I hope with an experienced trustee like you, we also align with our objectives and make a difference in terms of education, promoting holistic healthcare, arts and relief to the poor. That's the main objectives of RV Foundation, and I just hope that we also continue the journey, and someday we will also probably announce or talk about RV Foundation like what you're doing today.
Sure.
So
sure, we will definitely do that journey, and definitely will be involved continuously with RV Foundation. And by the way, congratulations on your first anniversary of RV Foundation, that is today. Can we talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, so you remember that? Yes. Army Foundation was formed on 22nd November 2024. Again, today is my mother's birthday. That is Mrs. Rajni Vijay's birthday. So we wanted to, on her birthday, do something in her memory, and that's how this trust, as I said, has come into picture. And today we complete 1 year, and it's a pleasure and honor that on the first anniversary we are releasing, we're launching the book Ramayanam 3 at the very place where the charitable journey of Army Foundation has started. This was the place where the first charity activity of Army Foundation was undertaken. Right?
Yeah, we donated the first Python machine here.
Yeah, right. So that's how it started, and that's the reason why we wanted to have the function here today. So, like just as a memory for us, and that's how this has started. And thank you so much, everyone. We really heartfully thank each one of you for taking out your time today and giving us your time and being here with us for the launch of this book. And thanks a lot. Heartful thanks to everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
So now we will stage and lighting of the lamp. So that's how we will formally start the book launch event. May I now request Mr. Vijay Kumar and Sally Ashrita to accompany the dignitaries onto the stage. Dr. Prem Sangri, management consultant, and who has been backbone in organizing the whole event for us. So please come onto the stage. Light the lamp and formally start the event.
Saraswati दीपतो दीपं ज्योति ब्रह्मा दीपं ज्योति परायण दीपेन हरते पापं संध्या दीपं नमोस्तुते दीपराजाय नमः प्राप्तनमस्कारां समर्पयामि ओम लं नमस्ते गणपते तमेव प्रत्यक्षं दत्तमसि तमेव केवलं कर्तासि तमेव केवलं धर्तासि तमेव केवलं भर्तासि तमेव सर्वं कल्पितं ब्रह्मासि तं
one liner about the book and more to go once you read the book. We will now formally launch the book and then we will have all the eminent speakers talk something about the book. So may I now request Divya to get the book on the stage and we can proceed with the launching of the book. One more announcement that I would like to make is the books are available for sale right outside the auditorium, and today being the inaugural day, we left the price whatever you want to pay for the book. So the book is priced at 516 rupees, but as an inaugural offer, we have decided that we are not going to price it anything. So whatever you feel is worth it, you can pay there and you can collect the book. All the amount that you're paying will be used for the charitable activities by RV Foundation and Y Foundation. So that's a small announcement that I wanted to make. If there's anything, you can always approach us and we will help you out with that. And now can we start with the launch of the book. So I request the chief guest for today, Justice T.N.C. Rangarajan, to formally launch the book.
ओम ध्रुवं देराय वरुणो ध्रुवं देवो बृहस्पतिः ध्रुवं न इन्द्रादिष्टराष्ट्रं धारयतां ध्रुवम् ओम सूक्तकाले सूर्यादीनां नवानां ग्रहाणाम् अत्यन्तानुकूलतः फलसिद्धिरस्तु ओम देवी देवास्तां विश्वरूपा पशुवोऽर्धन्ते सानो मन्त्रे जमोर्जन्तः नाथेन रुणाकस्मादुदस्तैदो अयमोक्तस्तु महोक्तोऽस्तु
Very Sandri to introduce our guest, the chief guest and the speakers.
If you look at the book has got a foreword for it. So I will introduce the guest speaker first, who has written the foreword for the book. So it is my privilege to introduce Sri Gaus Muhyiddin Mashkar Manyar. Of course, we call him Gaus as a friendly name. He's a visionary leader, social entrepreneur, mentor, angel investor, motivational and keynote speaker, jury member at various conferences, product owner, techno-functional practitioner with about 25 plus years of experience in the IT industry. He is the chairman and managing director of Cloudia Networks Limited, an upcoming hyperscale data center, an unlisted company in Hyderabad. He is also the founder of two other companies, Kudrasoft in fintech domains and Indigenous in IT consulting, IT-based R&D, both based in Hyderabad. He is a technocrat at heart and passionately uses technology to solve daily business problems. He is the man behind Cloudia's vision and mission of building a mesh of ECG compliant hyperscale data centers across India and selected global locations, offering data center as a service, focusing on affordability and reliability of data centers as a science. He specializes in designing ESG compliant next generation hyperscale data centers and compliance. Gaus has completed his masters in computer. The relevance to today's occasion is that the book we have launched today contains the foreword by Sri Gaus. He graciously agreed to offer his insightful perspective as a member of the Muslim community. His foreword is a balanced review of the book that reflects the spirit of mutual respect and the enduring values of Dharma in the society.
Ladies and gentlemen, the esteemed guests on the dais, all book lovers, and my friends. It is a genuine pleasure and honor to be here tonight to celebrate this book launch. A truly compelling book entitled Ramayana Part 3, I may be corrected, Rama's Journey Beyond His Avatar. And believe me, the title itself was fascinating for me. And my joy knew no bound to say and share with you, because I got the opportunity to write the foreword, because the book was written by my revered friend, a good friend, my mentor, my advisor, validator of my companies, and now a brilliant author, Shri C.A. B. Vijay Kumar Garu. I had this distinct honor of writing the foreword for this remarkable work, and I welcome you all and thank you all for joining this auspicious and special occasion, particularly in my life. I met Shri B. Vijay Kumar Garu almost 6 years back through a common friend. I wish he could also be part of this celebration. I am sure he is traveling right now. And that the occasion was about professional engagement as a evaluator for my data center company. From the day I met him, I was struck by his passion toward technology, and not only technology, but anything that he was supposed to talk with me. He always explored, understood, sometimes even challenged me, and then enlightened me. That gave me new perspective of the things. And believe me, like you all, I also know by now that he has a different perspective of life, both professional and personal. What Shri Vijay Kumar sir is having towards his life. When he approached me with an idea that will you be able to write a foreword, and he told about the title, about the concept, because earlier that we were trying to have certain discussions about his passionate project MAD. I think he will tell more about that. But this is the first milestone or the first towards that project, what I understand from him. And I didn't hesitate for a second to accept that, because I knew this is not only special for him, but is also special to me as a friend of him and as a passionate believer and a student of him. Ramayana Part 3 is not just a book like any of the books that you get in the market. It is Sri Rama's journey beyond his avatar. And when we say beyond his avatar, it is Sri Rama's journey after he ends his avatar and his enduring legacy. Legacy of the Dharma, and very much the latest, the idea of India, that is Bharat. So it's a huge legacy, and we are all proud of that. And that's how I'm here to share my understanding about the book, what I read, what I understood with you all. This is not merely a story of the past, neither a theological treatise nor a dry chronicle of history. What makes this book more special is, from an auditor's perspective, how religious things are going to come up. And believe me, this is the USP of this book, because the author himself is not only the believer but a professional who has given more than 40 years of his life of his profession. And now, after this milestone and achievements at various places, he has taken this task. So this book is that special because it is a continuing journey of Dharma across lands, across ages, and of course into the course of justice. To me, this book is, like, as I said, is a memorable mission for me to present and share with you. Today, the author has invited us to look at Sri Rama not only as the hero of an ancient epic, but also as a juristic person who stood trial not only in the days of his times, but in today's world as well. Not only as the upholder of Dharma in Treta Yuga, but as an enduring presence in the imagination of a nation still struggling to define justice, governance, and people's will. Through his diligent work, the author takes us on a journey across time. From the forest exile of Sri Rama to the halls of justice, from Mahatma Gandhiji's invocation of Ramarajya to the recent fulfillment of Ram Janmabhoomi, the construction of the temple for our beloved fellow brethren in India and the world across. Here we see in this book how Sri Rama lives not only in temples, in text, but also in the conscience of his followers, in the laws of our nation, in the aspirations of a civilization that still looks to him for guidance. This work that I believe will not only entertain but also inspire and educate all of us, especially the readers. I would like to just quote 2-3 examples from the book. The book is really very much rich with content, a scholarly article. It compels you to think in a different way. The way he has shared the story, the way he has articulated the things, the historical, the legacy, the background, the current affairs, it also helps the readers to ponder thoughts of the future. One chapter that is dedicated on legacy of Dharma. This chapter particularly caught my attention for a reason, because from my childhood, being brought up in a very democratic and cosmopolitan society, we all grew up hearing stories of the epic of Ramayana and Mahabharata. And this was the first time when I got to know how things change your perspective towards living a life, toward understanding the life, towards solving your daily problems. So this chapter particularly explores how Sri Rama's ideal of righteousness guided future generations, beginning with the wisdom shared by Bhishma and the Pandavas. So there's a dialogue, there's a discussion, and there's an explanation how exactly things are there. There's another chapter by name Ramarajya or Krishna Rajya, and believe me, that is also very thought-provoking. Whereas Ramarajya helps us to understand and articulate and think of an ideal society, of an ideal individual, of an ideal diaspora, where do we live? At the same time, Krishna Rajya helps us to understand how practical we have to be. Okay? And that's something is the beauty about the way the author has tried to convey us and capture all the facts about this world famous epics. So this simple idea captures the essence of the message, and it's just one example of a few of the examples which I have shared just with you. And I urge you all to read this book, not only for reading purpose, not only for understanding purpose, but trying to ponder over it. It will compel you to think, to understand, and to think in a different way altogether, I mean to say. And the book is, above all, what I understand, even though it is being triggered after family discussions and encouragement, and the author himself has said many times, and today as well, I think it was introduced, when it was triggered, how it was triggered. But more importantly, I believe this book, as per Sri Vijay Kumar Garu, is a sincere offering towards Sri Rama, to his dharma, what he has taught us, and to the idea of India, that is Bharat. I request all the readers to read it slowly, with openness, even though it may not deepen your understanding of Ramayana, because it has been written in a different perspective altogether, but will not only deepen your understanding in the perspective what the author has written, but also it will compel you to ask an important question. How significant the personality of Sri Rama means us today? What it means for us today? How does his journey continue influencing in our life today? Not only in our personal life, but as an institution, as a society, as a nation. In presenting this volume, I am sure Sri Vijay Kumar Garu has not only offered a thoughtful narrative but also a sincere act of service towards Sri Rama, the center. And I have no doubt that this book will inspire you all, the young minds, and it will give us an opportunity to deeply reflect on the magnificent persona of Sri Rama. I recommend you all today to not only purchase this book but also share it with your colleagues, with your families, with your friends. Such work needs to be publicized. Such works needs to be shared and cherished, motivated. After reading the book, I didn't felt that he is the first time author, believe me. I knew that, as I mentioned, he is mentor to me, he is an expert to me, but this new avatar of Sri Vijay Kumar Garu is totally different to me, and I am really impressed with that. I must say that. So I recommend this book to those who believe that Ramayana is not just an epic, an ancient epic, but as a living legacy that continues to shape our times. Definitely let the wisdom of Ramayana illuminate our understandings and deepen our connection to this enduring legacy of human values. After giving all these thoughts about what I feel about the book, the author, and the person of Sri Rama, I understand and I share this thought that writing a book, because I am also a first-time writer, I have started writing film, of course after getting inspiration from him, on a totally different subject. It's a challenging task, no doubt about that. But for writing such types of book requires immense dedication and sacrifice. All authors, they have to struggle, they have their own study, they have their own journey, they have their own experiences and all. But believing in certain things, having suffering in your lives, but at the same time you are being triggered, that shows that this book was destined. And that author has himself told or written in the book at a place. So I believe this book has poured from his heart and soul, that is now being called as Ramayana Part 3. And I am sure this work has really truly paid off to you, sir. While celebrating today, and while you grab this copy, I request you all an important thing. Don't miss to take the autograph of the author on the book. This will be, believe me, this will be a cherishable thing for all of us. So I remain here with these words, and I congratulate Sri B. Vijay Kumar Garu for coming this fantastic work and giving me, I thank him for giving me this opportunity to you all, and believe me, this is a tremendous achievement for all of us. So we celebrate with you, sir. Thank you very much.
Now I'll invite person who does not need any introduction, the author of the book himself, to come and present. It's a book. Yeah, where he will speak about the book.
Good evening, everyone. Respected Chief Guest, Justice Ramayanam, guest speakers, Sri Gauss, Ramesh, and Sri P.S. Radharu. Distinguished guests, friends, colleagues, ladies, and gentlemen. I thank the Chief Guest, Justice Ramayanam, for launching my book, Ramayan Part 3. It's a dream come true for my wife, late Rajani. It's a still miracle for me. How did I write this book? I'm still not able to reconcile with this thought. On 1st February 2025, I visited Ayodhya while I was visiting Kumbh Mela. That is the day when our Honorable Finance Minister, as Nirmala Sitharaman, presented the Union Budget. Normally, I watch budget speech live on the TV. So I was watching the budget speech live in my hotel room in Ayodhya. Then I began to wonder, what's the concept of budget or financial planning with debates among the citizens like what we have? During Ramarajya, here we have the Prime Minister and the entire Parliament discussing the budget. But was there in such case in Ramarajya? So I was thinking deeply on those issues. Then that thought prompted me to dig into Rama's legacy more deeply on that. How Rama's name was reflected in Dwapara Yuga and later on. Why do we call Rama Rajya? Why not we call Krishna Rajya? That was the thought process which I was going through. So I was going through I did a little bit of research with the help of AI tools like our ChatGPT and Gemini, all these other tools also. I did a little bit of research and tremendous knowledge, tremendous understanding I got it. The point which I started has changed practically later. I now I am now able to understand Rama's personality better than what it was earlier. So I'm not retelling Ramayana. When I started this Ramayana, I'm not retelling Ramayana. So what is the part 3? The part 3 is this. Valmiki Ramayana is part 1. That's a sacred epic and he started Ramayana and that's Ramayana started with Rama's birth and ended with Rama killing Ravana and taking over Ayodhya as a king. That was the first part. Then Uttar Ramayana. Uttar Ramayana is Lava Kusa was born and Sita was sent to forest based upon the unfounded allegations of some washerman. So, and as part of Raj Dharma, he took extreme sacrifice and sent away Sita. That's as part of Raj Dharma. He put himself below the needs of the public. That was Raj Dharma he followed. Some people say Uttarakhand doesn't exist at all. It's only fiction. Whatever it may be, fiction or true, whatever. There are some others who will say it's a fiction, it's not called there. Some people say it's there. So I named this as Ramayana Part 3. My story begins where it ended. That is Rama ending his avatar. After ending his avatar, what was the journey? Ramayana means Rama's journey. So what was Rama's journey after he ended his avatar? That was the theme of this one. So how is avatar? How it moved from Yuga to Yuga? Dwapara Yuga, how was he? Was he any reference to Ramarajya in Dwapara Yuga? I did little bit of research and then add fancied some ideas also and create and what is it compared? What is Rama and Krishna and what is Ramarajya and Krishna Rajya and how Rama's Dharma should have been followed by Pandavas also. Then came after that in Kali Yuga this one. How Rama's name was spread. Rama ruled only Kosala. and he traveled only Lanka, India and Lanka, that's all. But his name spread across the globe, including Indonesia, Bali. There is a special dance for that. Rama killing Ravana. There is a special dance, tribal dance, and there is a big tourist attraction in Bali also. So how could they spread so across the globe, different parts of the world? So I try to trace that also. So how culture was spread over? What was it? How did it spread, and what was the motivation for them? Who are the kings who are spread these culture? There are different kings outside India also who have spread Ramayana. So that is Ramayana which I am talking. So Ramayana is the story of journey of Ram. And I say journey of Ram. So after he read his avatar, how he moved into next Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. Okay. So it is also the story of the, and now I made a humble attempt to trace the journey of Lord Rama. So it is story of the continued relevance of Ramarajya, his influence in Dwapara Yuga, and its influence in the present modern era. Ramarajya, what did Mahatma Gandhi talk about it? And he was in distracted say Ramarajya. So Ramarajya is considered to be an idealistic state. So what is the idealist state? What are the characteristics? Now I'll give you one example here. The washerman who's talked narratively about his queen, that is Sita. How could Rama take back Sita? All these things there. But washerman did not complain to Rama. He did not make any complaint. He did not lodge any protest. He did not. He only had his own opinion amongst his own people. He never complained to Rama that you should not have taken Sita back. All this. He did not complain. That was only a public opinion in one segment of the public. That's all. But still Rama reached out to him, reached out to the public opinion, and then followed the most painful step in his life, that is abdicating Sita. So that was what do we understand in that? From Gauri's point of view, Raja reached people. That means people's voice has been respected. Now, in our democracy, we call it is a Raja of people. So how are we making this democracy? So I remember the concept called SAGE. SAGE stands for simple and good establishment. In simple and good establishment, we should not come across so many things. I'll just give you one example here. Most of the Chadawans are other people also might not know. We had to file our tax returns by 30th September. There was a lot of demand for extending the time. But the CBDT, that is a Central Board of Direct Taxes, did not oblige. Ultimately, even the industry bodies, our institute also, they have filed, they have appealed to the CBDT to extend the time, but they did not do that. And ultimately, some of the people approached the court also. And then, after the court forced CBDT, the CBDT extended the time. Was it necessary? When responsible trade associations say, please extend, why not? What keeps them? There are so many areas of establishment where they have shown empathy for simplifying things. These are the basic concepts here. So in Ramaraja, where simple and good establishment is the soul of the Ramaraja. Now, okay, this is all part of this one. So what is Rama? Rama is a juristic person, which our Ramesh will expand further. He appeared as a litigant in various legal battles. And finally, he reclaimed his birthplace through the verdict of the Supreme Court. So, when his Rama Janmabhoomi temple was demolished by Babur, and later Babri Masjid was constructed, how did he protect his own thing? During Ramayana, when Sita was abducted by Ravana, what did he do? He went to Lanka, he killed Ravana and brought back Sita. But now, what did he do? He suffered. And he waited for the independence to come. In the independent India also, it took more than 50 years for him to get back his land. And who represented him? Parasaram, one of the senior most advocate. He represented Lord Rama. Lord Rama, he brought a concept of juristic person. That means a legal entity. So that, and Supreme Court also has recognized Rama as a Bala Virajman, as a legal entity, and granted the rights to property. And that Ramesh will explain more in more detail. Okay, so I am not telling the real story. I am just expanding what happened from there. So this is what I wanted to put this one. Now, is there any value in this book? It's hardly 100 pages, the entire story. So is there any value in this book? I am not put any value in this. But I have to put some price for the book for the purpose of retail price and other thing. So I leave it to the readers, whatever the price they want to pay, let them pay. But I am more interested in the people to follow, read them, understand them, debate, discuss, and then participate in the become ruler because of the people's verdict. So that's how the verdict has come, and that's how the rule has differed. This is a democratic rule, and that was a Raja. So whatever that Raja says, that was Dharma. But whatever Modi says is not Dharma. Whatever Constitution says Dharma. So this is new avatar of Rama. So in my cover book also, I put Rama in his new avatar, holding in his hand, in his bow, Constitution of India. So he is his new avatar, and he still lives on with us, and he will continue to live on with us. So this is the essence of the book. So I request you to go through the entire book and give me your suggestions, whatever you feel like, your feedback. Thank you very much.
So initially we heard Sri Gauss talk about or give a preview of the book, a glimpse of the book and how to approach the book. And then we heard the author Vijay Kumar himself speaking about the content of the book and more importantly the journey that he went through in order to write the book. And as he was speaking, he made multiple references to Rama as a juristic person and legal entity. So it's a privilege now in this context to introduce Sri Ramesh Chandra Ravi, an accomplished legal professional with deep expertise in corporate law, compliance and legal structure. Sri Ramesh Chandra's career spreads across various companies in the corporate sector. He handled various functions as a company secretary, handled statutory compliance, regulatory matters and several complex legal cases. His meticulous approach and clarity in interpreting law earned him early recognition in the corporate legal world. He later went on to co-found the law firm LBV Iyer and Associates along with the late Sri LBV Iyer, a highly respectable name in the legal fraternity.
Thank you for inviting me to speak on a subject which is more technical, but I'll try to do what I can. Respected Chief Guest Justice Ramayanam and other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The link that the book has on this legal aspect of a juristic person in an idol, that is, which is Rama, which the Supreme Court has expounded in its judgment on the Ayodhya issue. While it's technical and legal, for the sake of expounding it in simple terms, is why is it an idol, a corporate or a juristic person? For that, we need to look at the genesis of this entire thing. As you would understand, what is a juristic person? The most common example is a company. A company, when it's incorporated, is vested with certain rights which are distinct from its members. It has a perpetual succession, can hold properties, can sue or be sued. And more importantly, the advent of what is commonly known as limited liability came in through this concept. So why is it that an idol has been bestowed with this juristic personality or a person? Let's look at the genesis of all this. If you look at our scriptures or the Dharma Shastras, this concept has never been expounded or held. It was never there. So it was left to the common law or the judges to look at this in the context of an idol or a temple holding properties, having the right for a common good. So that is the genesis. So where did it all start? It started with the English judges exploring this in a certain case in 1887 called the Doka temple case, where the English judges had to deal with this aspect of whether the temple property or the properties held by the idol could be squandered away by the manager, the Shabbat, and how do one protect it. So they had to look at law to bring in this concept of a juristic person, so that the devotees who were known and the proprietary claims of a community corporation, which are nothing but the devotees, are preserved and protected. So that started this journey of looking at this entire concept of idol as a juristic person. Having said that, what happened in the Ayodhya case? Now, as rightly pointed out, the first plaintiff was Lord Rama himself, and the second plaintiff was the land or the Janmabhoomi. Now that was the second plaintiff, and what was argued or advanced in case number 5, which was argued by none other than Counsel Parasan, Senior Counsel Parasan, was that both Sri Rama, the idol, the deity, and the land, both are juristic persons, and therefore he had requested that not only the judgment be looked at from this aspect, but also in respect of the manifestation of the land itself for the purpose of being declared as a juristic person. While the Supreme Court held that the first plaintiff, that Lord Rama himself, is a juristic person, it had reasons to say that the land, that is Janmabhoomi, Ayodhya, could not be held as a juristic person for the reasons that by advancing such argument, the proprietary claims in respect of immovable property would get lost, and the character of the immovable property itself would get lost, and therefore, when you talk about character of the immovable properties, adverse possession, limitations, etc., all that will not be able to be held. So they had said very clearly that the deity as Lord Rama definitely has a juristic person, and this was held in various other cases earlier. It is not that the Supreme Court had looked at it the first time here. They only validated and held that what was previously many judges has held in many other cases. Now, let me take you through, could be a little technical but interesting, why the concept of a juristic person had to be brought about by the courts. It was a legal innovation necessitated by historical circumstances, the gap in the existing law, and by considerations of convenience. It had the added advantage of conferring legal personality on an object that within Hinduism had long been subject to personification. A Hindu may make an endowment for a religious purposes. Normally, if you have an endowment created, you would prefer to do it through a trust, so that a perpetuity can be ensured. But a lot of endowments, as you know, in India, do not necessarily be carried out through an express trust. And that is where the courts felt that they had to extend this juristic personality concept so that the idol can be the holder of this property, and that can be protected for two reasons. One, for the pious purpose. The pious purpose is based on the belief of the devotees, and two, that there is a public interest in the devotees in respect of such property. So these were the twin conditions that they had to preserve and protect, and therefore the concept of juristic personality. Now, what is interesting is, having said so, the court also dwelt on this aspect. The idol constitutes the embodiment or expression of the pious purpose upon which the legal personality is conferred. The destruction of the idol does not result in the termination of the pious purpose and consequently the endowment. Even where the idol is destroyed or the presence of the idol itself is intermittent or entirely absent, the legal personality created by the endowment continues to subsist. In our country, idols are routinely submerged in water as a matter of religious practice. It cannot be said that the pious purpose is also extinguished due to such submersion. The establishment of the image of the idol is the manner in which the pious purpose is fulfilled. A conference of legal personality on the idol is in effect a recognition of the pious purpose itself, and not the method to which that pious purpose is usually personified. It is clear that juristic personality was a fiction of law, as you would know, so as to recognize and then protect both the pious purpose in the form of an idol, in which it is vested an endowment which is a title to the property, as well as the claims of the worshipping community. It was law which regulated the unity of the multiplicity which lived beyond and was protected beyond the morality of the members of the worshipping community. So that's where this entire concept of judicial interpretation emerged towards having the idol as a juristic person. Now, such a situation is obviated by the judicially recognized principle that when an endowment is made for a religious or charitable institution and the object is pious, the institution will be treated as a juristic person even in the absence of a trust. So you don't need a trust, express or otherwise, for the purpose of the courts holding it or the law holding that the idol is a thing. Therefore, it also advances an empowerment in the hands of the devotees to claim membership of the endowment or to places in the endowment, which earlier was reserved only for the shepherd or the manager of the property, which through this concept came to be recognized that even the devotees had a place and a right to have it. So the recognition of the Hindu idol as a legal or a juristic person is therefore based on two premises employed by courts. The first is to recognize the pious purpose of the testator as a legal entity capable of holding property in an idle sense, absent the creation of a trust. The second is the merging of the pious purpose itself and the idol which embodies the pious purpose to ensure the fulfillment of the pious purpose. So conceived, the Hindu idol is a legal person. Now, when it came to the Asthan Sri Ram Janmabhoomi, the court, as I mentioned earlier, said that this would bring about the conferral of absolute title on the basis that the arguments that the counsel Parasuran mentioned was that the land itself is a manifestation of the divine, which the court did not accept because in this case, it was all based on the belief, and there was no concept or evidence to show that the land itself was a manifestation of the divine. And in terms of legal jurisprudence, what it could bring about when you confer such titles on land was to take away the character of the immovable property itself. And to that extent, the Supreme Court said that in this case, the Janma Bhumi could not be given that status of a juristic person. So this is what happened in this case. So I thought I will take you through that route and do mention about what is the genesis, the need, the concept, and why this concept of juristic person had to be brought about in relation to an idol. Thank you.
And enlightening observations made by Sri Ramesh on what led to and how we got Ayodhya back and Rama temple installed in Ayodhya, despite there being a masjid over a earlier Ayodhya Rama temple which was destroyed. We'll go on to the next speaker. So it is my privilege to introduce Sri T.S. Raja, an accomplished insolvency professional with deep expertise in corporate law, IBC, compliance and legal structure. Sri Raja is a proven IRB professional and cost accountant by qualification. Retired from APSSC as a general manager associated with SME promotions. He has sound knowledge of SME in both AP and Telangana. Sri Raja was one of the very few from the finance industry to become insolvency professional, bringing resolution to companies under financial distress. He is the founder of Safe International Insolvency Professional LLP and the Safe International Legal Professionals LLP. Sri Raja is deeply interested in history, culture and economics, apart from the passion in his own present position as an insolvency professional. He is a voracious reader, a very rare breed among the fast declining book reading culture. We look forward to his critical review of the book Ramayana Part 3. Thank you.
Good evening, respected Justice Garu and other dignitaries. The first takeaway for me from this event is, everywhere I go, I find the event starts with lighting of the lamp. It's common. But today, what Vijay Kumar Garu's family has done is added the Sanskrit Pandit here. When he is reciting the mantras, there is reverberation and it set a tone that is required for such an event. And thank you, sir. And thank you, the organizers. Yes, I wish in future people will replicate it. Okay. And I was mentioned as a voracious reader. I tell you one thing, it is 2 rupees that made me a voracious reader. Why I say 2 rupees is, I was in Madras, I did my ICWA from Madras. And I come from a rural background in Andhra Pradesh, Guntur district, where English novels you don't find, English movies you don't see. So when I went to Chennai first time, in Chennai, I find every nook and corner there are lending libraries who give books on rent for a week. So I went to the lending library and I asked him, what can I read? He said, you choose. I said, I don't know anything. Then he gave me signature notes. And I took the book, I read it, and he told me it is 2 rupees for 1 week. I returned it. Next time I borrowed the next book from the same library and I returned it 1 day after. Then he said, you pay me 4 rupees. Why it is only 1 week? No, you took it on Monday. You should have returned it on Saturday. So it is 2 rupees. As a student, 2 rupees in 1980 is a costly thing. So every time I borrow a book, I make it a point to finish it by Saturday. If I'm left with say 100 or 200 pages also, I don't mind burning my candle up to say 2 o'clock, but I will complete. That is what brought me, made me a village listener. And even now, whenever I keep flying, I go to in the airport, I go pick up some book, and then by the time I get landed there, or by the time I come back to Hyderabad, I complete the book. That is how I enjoy. So my wife used to say, my wife, happy, I have some fellow companions. And somebody, I think Ram was mentioning that we all should get a signature of the author of the book. And for that also I tell a small story. I don't know, but this generation which is there in the audience is not the right forum for telling that, but the fact is, there is one billionaire of Malaysia, Lee Iacocca. And one thing what he says is, you buy a book. When you buy a book and read the book, you are reading the mindset of the author. That is how, so of course here the thing is, I know what Vijay Kumar is for the last 7 years, and I know what he is, but still, and I remember proudly, when I got a signature on a book from Duvul Subbarao Garu, RBI Governor, he wrote several books, and in one of the launching I participated, and incidentally Duvul Subbarao Garu was my boss for 2 years when I was in AP State Financial Corporation way back in 85. So I have the pleasure of it. Before I leave, I will get the signature from Vijay Kumar Garu. Now, and now all through you are listening to what I say, high knowledge which is not meant for ordinary people like me. I am branded as a rebel. I am branded as a rebel. As a student, the president of Cost Accountants of India, ICWA, as a student when I was participating, he said, "Arey yaar, I am seeing a Datta Samanta." I don't know. Some of you may be knowing what Datta Samant is. They were telling, "Arey, you are a Datta Samant." That is, so now the rebel part, what I say is, Vijay Kumar Garu in his book mentioned, as Gausab will say, when you are doing some computer new work, you will first know what it is to where you want to do. I don't know the technical term what you use. So he has written the book on what it is. I want him to come out with one more book on what he wants the society to be. You give a lead. You are telling what was there. No, you must suggest. Because now I don't, let me put my own way of thinking it. He mentioned what Rama Raja is. He mentioned what Krishna Raja is. How Rama suffered based on a common washerman's loose comment. And then he was mentioning how strategic Krishna is in managing. All of you must be remembering the phrase Aswadama Hata Kunjara. So that is how he changed it. He wanted Yudhishthira to speak a lie, which he will not do. So what they did, they named a Kunjara, which is nothing but an elephant, as Aswadama. They killed it and then said, yes, you announce now that Aswadama was killed. That is a strategy he played. Today, what's in the world, what we see, I don't want to take the incidents or names or politicians of India. Let me refer to the other politicians so that we will not get aggregated. Take USA, clemency. The president has the power to pardon. And Biden has pardoned more number of people than anybody, any president in the, before leaving, including his own son. And Trump, when he took over power, the first thing he did is, all those who were imprisoned or who were facing charges for the Capitol Hill riot, they were all pardoned in a single stroke. So what is being done is, whoever is there in the ruling party, whoever is there in the ruling position, they are deciding what dharma is. They are, whatever they say is dharma. When the party changes, when the new party comes, they will raise allegations. be it what we are finding it yesterday or today in Telangana, or what we are going to face with YSRCP in Andhra in the next 2 or 3 months. So what's happening is, when there is change of power, the previous people, see, there was a time when previous politicians were attacked, but strangely it has come down to a level where the executives, be it the DCP, be it the police, be it the IAS, all of them are being targeted, which is a bad, very bad indication of things. See, this happened to me when I was way back in 2002, and Chandrababu Naidu was the Chief Minister. Adam Commission, they have created a British company for privatization of the public sector undertakings. So they asked the government employees to, if they are interested in deputation, to make an application. I was one of those who applied. And then they asked us for the interview to come by preparing and submitting a one-pager on privatization is a failure. That is the topic given to me. I googled, I wrote one full page on how privatization failed all over the world. This is in 2000, I'm telling you. I'm a little tech savvy. I know how to Google. Before Google was there, there is 37.com, there is all those things. I used those things and I Googled, I prepared. And I thought I may be called in the first 4 or 5 people, because my cadre, my qualification, my experience by then is almost 16 years. But I was the last to be called. When I went inside, IAS officer, senior IAS Kanda was there. He asked me, Raja, out of the all interview candidates, you are the one who wrote saying that privatization is a failure. Don't you know you are coming here to pursue privatization? I said, if that is the intention, why did you give the topic like that? No, you should have said, you should have at the outright rejected. Why, sir? Why should I do it? You give me a saying that privatization is a success. I write 3 pages, 1 page. Then he said, don't you have conscience? I asked him, you are an IAS officer. You think we have conscience? If the boss says it is correct, we write 10 pages how it is correct. If the boss says, no, it is incorrect, we will write 20 pages how it is incorrect. If you oppose the boss, next minute you will be transferred. You will not be in the role. So what are you if you are to be a successful? You have to follow the boss. And today what is it? So many IAS, so many IPS, so many MLAs, so many chota leaders, they were literally following the majority of the average human being. What the boss says, we are doing it. And when the boss changed, they are targeting not only the previous person who initiated. In fact, in one of the assignments as an insolvency professional, there are 3 CBI cases and 1 SFIO case and 1 police. All those cases are there. And then in one particular case, the CBI officer from Delhi came to my office saying that, what about this case, what about this incident, what about this transaction? I was explaining. Then he was asking me, who is involved in this? I said, the managing director gave the instruction, the clerk prepared the note, and the accounts officer prepared the check. Like this I explained. Then after everything is done, he gave me a draft report where he wanted to implicate all the employees of the company, which is in liquidation at that time. Then I called the DSP of CBI from Bangalore, who is very mature and very knowledgeable. I told him, what is this man doing? He is going to add every employee a culprit. Then he spoke to that CBI officer from Delhi and said, you should have the discrimination you should have the maturity to discriminate between those who are initiated this and those who are involved. They are involved as a subordinate. They are involved as an employee. They are involved because the managing director will fire them. They have a family, they have a life to learn. All that is there. Okay. So keeping with this, I don't want to take much time. This is an age where we are facing the natural calamities. all the Amazon forest is removed, and today the result of it, the icebergs are melting. There is floods in Europe. There is summer-like temperature in Europe. There is floods in Dallas. Everywhere it is like calamity. That is because we ignored the ethics. We started damaging the globe. We started damaging the earth. Similarly, that is the physical damage. The virtual damage is by burying the ethics. We are trying to be selfish. I end this speech with the last one word. When I was a student studying ICW in Madras, I have a roommate from Godavari district. Why I say Godavari is they are intelligent people. You all heard na bhuto na bhavishyati. Okay? He twisted it saying na swardham na bhavishyatu. That is the ruling thing. And lastly, there was a person, when I was in a position in APSFC, somebody came, offered, I said, thank you, I don't want. Then he said, sir, if you don't ask, nobody will pay. I said, I am not interested. Then he said, why in power, if not to misuse? So the rule, today's mantra is, you are in power, you misuse. Otherwise there is no meaning. So Vijay Kumar Garu should come with a book on what should happen to bring this society back into ethics. Thank you all.
We talk about dharma is Rama's dharma, same as Krishna's dharma. Actually, they're two different things. And Mr. Raja did point out, I can't spell that in Sanskrit, about that elephant I would call it, and that is Krishna's dharma. And as for Krishna, it's okay to do that. But Rama would say it's not okay to do it. Right? So that's very interesting. And it is based on why you should be able to change or adapt dharma. And that is where Krishna will come. Anyway, I'll leave it there and I'll handle the mic for a very short minute to Mr. Vijay Kumar, who wants to invite a special guest.
Sri Sridhachari are here and Sri C.A. Devanath Suri also. We had lot of intellectual discussions. Sri Devanath Suri will present devotional aspect because people are seeing, respected. And C.A. Devanath Suri is not just a charter. He is very brilliant writer, poet and dramatist also. He enacted more dramas like Harichandra. He is a good actor. And he can spontaneously tell devotional aspect of the event. Now, before that, I would like to request Sri Sridhacharya to say a few words. And he was our former managing director when I was in Maharajan Finance.
In a few years' time, I am delighted to have been associated with him and some of my other colleagues, Justice Gangaraj Garu, Ramesh, there, Hema, I could recognize, Hari. And so it's a touching moment for me and I'm very happy and I look forward to what the other gentleman mentioned as a sequel to this book on what needs to be done. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you.
सूचित स्वप्रभाव जगदवन विनाशोद्भूति लीला स्वभाव नमतु विमत रक्ष शुष्क कांतारदाव जयतु मुदित भाव कोपि गोपाल देव वेंकटाद्रि समंस्थानं ब्रह्मांडे नास्ति किंचन वेंकटेश समो देव न भूत न भविष्यति శ్రీరాఘవం దశరథాత్మజం అప్రమేయం సీతాపతిం రఘుకులాన్వయ రత్నదీపం ఆజానుబాహుం అరవింద దళాయతాక్షం రామం నిశాచర వినాశకరం నమామి. వేదికను అలంకరించినటువంటి పెద్దలకు, వేదిక వచ్చినటువంటి ఆహుతులకు అందరికీ కూడా నేను నమస్కరించి, నా పేరు మహా దేవనాథ సూరి, నేను కూడా చార్టర్డ్ అకౌంటెంట్. అయితే మన విజయ్ కుమార్ గారికి స్నేహితుడిని. వారు రాసినటువంటి రామాయణము అంటే రాముని యొక్క అవతారం తర్వాత ఏమిటి అంటే, మనమంతా రాముని యొక్క వారసులమే. ఈ భారతదేశంలో పుట్టినటువంటి వాడు ప్రతి వాడు కూడా వారి యొక్క వారసత్వాన్ని పొందినటువంటి వాళ్ళమే, ఆ సంస్కృతిలో నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి వాళ్ళమే. అందువలనే రామాయణం 12,96,000 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం నాడు జరిగినటువంటి చరిత్ర. అది 12,96,000 సంవత్సరాలు. అది యుగ యుగాలకి, అంటే మనకి ధర్మం ప్రకారం 4 యుగాలు. కృతేతు నరసింహోభూత్, త్రేతాయాం రఘునందన, ద్వాపరే వాసుదేవశ్చ, కలవు వెంకట నాయక అని శాస్త్రం చెబుతూ ఉన్నది. కృతయుగంలో నరసింహస్వామి 17,26,000. అదే రామావతారం 12,96,000 సంవత్సరాలు. అంటే అప్పటి నుంచి ఇప్పటి వరకు మధ్యలో 8,64,000 సంవత్సరాల ద్వాపర యుగం ఉంది. అంటే వాసుదేవుడు అంటే శ్రీకృష్ణుడి యొక్క అవతారం. అది తర్వాత కలవు వెంకట నాయక, ఈ కలియుగంలో ప్రత్యక్ష దైవము కలియుగ వెంకటేశ్వరుడు. అలా మన శాస్త్రాలు ఘోషిస్తూ ఉన్నాయి. అలాంటి యొక్క రాముడి చరిత్రను తీసుకుని ఈ కాలానికి ఎలా అన్వయించి చక్కగా చెప్పాలో అదే రీతిగా మన విజయ్ కుమార్ గారు చాలా గొప్పగా కంపారిజన్ చేసి, అంటే ఈ కాలానికి ఎలా సరిపోతుంది అని చాలా సూక్ష్మంగా రాశారు. వారి యొక్క అర్థాంగి కోరికను కూడా వారు తీర్చడం అనేది చాలా ముదావహం. మనం అందరం కూడా వారిని అప్రిషియేట్ చేయాలి. ఇలాంటి మరి ఎన్నో పుస్తకాలు వారు ముందు ముందు రాయాలని ఆకాంక్షిస్తూ, ఇలాంటి అవకాశాన్ని నాకు ఇచ్చినటువంటి మీ అందరికీ కూడా ముఖ్యంగా విజయ్ కుమార్ గారికి కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలుపుకుంటూ నేను విరమిస్తూ ఉన్నాను. శుభం భూయాత్.
So I take it my privilege to welcome the chief guest, TNC Rangarajan, retired judge of the High Court of Andhra Pradesh and Madras, to the launch of Ramayana 3, Rama's journey after he ended his avatar and his enduring legacy. Sri Rangarajan was born in Madras, now Chennai. After completing BA Honours in Economics, he completed BL and studied International Law under Professor Alexandrovich. After practicing as an advocate for 15 years, he went to become judicial member of the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, where he contributed significantly to tax jurisprudence. He was elevated as the permanent judge of the Madras High Court in 1994 and then transferred to the High Court of Andhra Pradesh, where he served for multiple years. His professional reputation is built on fairness, clarity of thought, deep legal scholarship, and a commitment to justice. He explores the continuing legacy of Lord Rama is governance, duty, dharma, role in society, and the idea of rightfulness. Justice Rangaraja's own career reflects many of these themes: ethical adjudication, institutional integrity, and public service. His presence had both symbolic weight and substantial resonance to the launch of this work. So please join me in extending a warm welcome to Justice T.N.C. Rangarajan.
I think probably it is a sort of an inner guru which gave him this idea while watching the budget. Now today we heard Mr. Gauss. He gave a wonderful introduction of the book. Mr. Vijay Kumar himself told us how he wrote the book. Ramesh gave a very, very lucid example of an erudite explanation for juristic person. He said even idol is not required. You can have a juristic person with the idea of personality. Mr. Raja, he gave some good suggestions, and he asked our Vijay Kumar to write another book, and he was actually very humorous. He said how Dharma can actually become other also. Then we have Devana Suri giving us a very beautiful slokas, and Mr. Chari also praised the book. Actually, from my point of view, the book is more about Ram Rajya than about Rama himself. How the concept of Ram Rajya in the Rama avatar beings can be different in today's world. Actually, Sri Rama himself tells Bharata what Ram Rajya should be in the 100th Sarga of Ayodhya Kanda. He says how justice is to be done, how the guilty should be punished, at the same time the innocent should be protected, how tax should be collected like a bee collects honey from the flowers. He gives many examples. Now many of those things may be available even today. As a tax professional, I used to feel that many of the taxing statutes and their consequences are actually worse than what was intended. So many times I had to rewrite the statute to give relief to the assessee, and it's not really like the department in that case. But my point is that even a law has to be imagined to be of particular use in a particular case to find out what exactly is the justice in the situation. Now, there is also an idea. I mean, some people may say Ram Rajya also maybe have a religious connotation. It is not so. It is not a religious doctrine at all, but a holistic way of encompassing the individual, family, society, and national well-being. The central premise of this book, as far as I can see, is that Sri Rama is a living embodiment of Dharma. Rama Vigrahan Dharma. Even today, his life provides eternal lessons that remain relevant to the modern world. Dharma is dynamic. The book argues that Dharma must adapt to the times. In his days, he had to fight Ravana to bring back Sita. But in the present day, he has to use the present legal situation. There is also an idea. I mean, some people may say Ram Raja also maybe have a religious connotation. It is not so. It is not a religious doctrine at all, but a holistic way of encompassing the individual, family, society and national well-being. The central premise of this book, as far as I can see, is that Sri Rama is a living embodiment of Dharma. Ramo Vigrahan Dharma. Even today, his life provides eternal lessons that remain relevant to the modern world. Dharma is a dynamic. The book argues that Dharma must adapt to the times. In his days, he had to fight Ravana to bring back Sita. But in the present day, he has to use the present legal situation itself to recover his own land. And that thereby he is upholding the Dharma of the current situation. He particular guidelines to Bharata, which stressed the situation in those days, may even be applicable with modification to the current times. Now, what I will say is that Sri Vijay Kumar is actually following what is called Rishi Yajna. Rishi Yajna means you are perpetuating the wisdom of the Rishis to the coming generations. The book shows how timeless ideas of Sri Rama can be applied today to foster a more harmonious and righteous society. That is the basic message of the book. And I think I personally feel blessed to have read the book, got a copy, autographed copy from me, and have the occasion to release the book here. I thank all my friends to appreciate Mr. Vijay Kumar's efforts, and also, as others have said, we are looking forward to the next book to be written by him. Thank you.
Devotee also, in a way, I am only a child opponent, I am only analytical in my approach. Sir, I invite C. Jitendra to speak few words, with your permission, sir. Sure. Most welcome, sir.
వారు ఇంగ్లీష్ లో చెప్పారు. అది నేటి రామాయణం అన్నట్టుగా నాకు అర్థమైంది. When I heard these scholars, what I understood is that Kaliyuga Dharma, the Dharma that pertains to the year 2000 plus of Ramayana values, has been actually described in those few lines, few pages of that particular book. Definitely, henceforth, we all know Ramayana has got 6 కాండలు. కానీ తర్వాత ఉత్తరకాండ కూడా కలిపి 7 కాండలు అన్నారు. ఇప్పుడు పార్ట్ 3తో కలిపి ఇక మీదట 8 కాండలు కూడా మనం అనుకోవచ్చు అన్నమాట రామాయణాన్ని. దట్ ఈస్ వన్ పాయింట్. ఈ సందర్భంగా మాది భద్రాచలం. కూజంతం రామ రామేతి మధురం మధురాక్షరం ఆరుహ్య కవితా శాఖాం వందే వాల్మీకి కోకిలం. నేటి రామాయణం ఈ యొక్క పుస్తకం లాంచింగ్ సందర్భంగా నాటి రామాయణ సృష్టికర్త వాల్మీకి మహానుభావుడిని తెలుసుకోవటం అనేది ఒక కర్తవ్యంగా భావిస్తూ, ఇందాక మీకు చెప్పినట్లుగా 8 కాండల రామాయణ ఆవిష్కరణ మహోత్సవ సందర్భంగా ఇంత సాహసానికి పూనుకున్న మన విజయ్ కుమార్ గారిని అభినందిస్తూ, మనదైన మన మాతృభాషలో చిన్న అక్షర సత్కారం 8 లైన్లలో మాత్రమే చెప్పాలి అని ఒక సంకల్పంతో వారిని నేను కోరుకున్నాను. వారు అంగీకరించినందుకు ముందుగా ధన్యవాదాలు. జమ ఖర్చులనేది ద్వంద్వ భావము నేర్చి, both debit and credit, the dual entry aspect we all know very well. జమ ఖర్చులనేది ద్వంద్వ భావము నేర్చి వృత్తిలోన గెలిచే మన విజయ కుమారుడు. ఆయన అట్లా కొంచెం పెద్దవాళ్ళ కనబడుతున్నారు కానీ స్టిల్ ఆయన వెరీ యంగ్ అని నా ఉద్దేశం అన్నమాట. రజనిని ప్రేమించి వెలుగులో విహరించే. కనీస రజని, మేడం పేరు రజని అని ఇప్పుడు నాకు తెలిసింది. రజని అంటే చీకటి అన్నమాట మనకు భావం. సో రజనిని ప్రేమించి వెలుగులో విహరించే. ది అదర్ డే ఐ హర్డ్ హిమ్ అడ్రసింగ్ ఆన్ ది వాల్యుయేషన్ ప్రొఫెషన్ in our Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and there were certain takeaways from him as well, professionally as well. So రజనిని ప్రేమించి వెలుగులో విహరించే, రామధర్మమును రమ్యముగా రచయించే. Somebody was mentioning in the previous speeches రామధర్మ. So రామధర్మం ఏమిటి? We all studied Ramayanam, but what is Ramadharmam? He has written very well in this 8వ కాండ. సో రామధర్మమును రమ్యముగా రచయించే ఈ 4 లైన్లు వారికి అయితే, అసలు మా మిత్రుడు వారు నేను కలిసి పనిచేస్తామండి మన హిందుస్థాన్ కారణంలో రమేష్ చంద్ర గారు. వారు he has brought in a legal perspective for our heartbeat, that is Ayodhya Rama. న్యాయ సూత్రములే 4 వేదములుగా రాజమార్గములో బాలరాముడు రాగా, మధురాక్షరమైన రామశబ్దమును మనసులోన నిలిపి మన మనసులే గెలిచారు మీ విజయ్ కుమార్ గారు. ఈ సందర్భంగా ఈ 8 లైన్ల అక్షర సత్రాన్ని మీకు అందిస్తూ, ఫలశ్రుతిగా నేను భద్రాచలానికి వచ్చానని ఇందాకే చెప్పాను. భద్రాద్రి రామయ్య జయము జయమని పలికే అంటూ ఈ అవకాశాన్ని నాకు ఇచ్చినందుకు మీ అందరికీ మరోసారి ధన్యవాదాలు చెప్పుకుంటూ సెలవు తీసుకునే ముందుగా, ఒక మిత్రుడు ఈ రామాయణం ఎవరైనా ఎన్ని రకాలుగా రాయొచ్చు. వారి పేరు జి తారక ప్రసాద్ గారు. వీరు ప్రెసిడెంట్ గా పనిచేసి రిటైర్ అయిన తర్వాత రామాయణాన్ని ఒక కొత్త కోవడలో, ఒక కొత్త పందాలో వీరు రాశారన్నమాట. ఇవాళ ఇక్కడికి నాకు ఆహ్వానం పంపిన వెంటనే వారికి చిన్న పుస్తకం ఇచ్చి సత్కరించుకుందాం అనుకున్నాను అనమాట. అందుకని ఆ పుస్తకం ఇచ్చి తీసుకొచ్చాను. ఈ పుస్తకాన్ని వారు చిన్న ముందు పోగులాగా చిన్న సత్కారంలాగా స్వీకరించాలని కోరుకుంటూ, ఈ అవకాశం ఇచ్చినందుకు మరొక్కసారి ధన్యవాదాలు చెప్పుకుంటూ శుభం జయం.
సార్, ఇంత సత్కారం నేను తగ్గడం లేదు, నాకు తెలియదు. Raja Garu. Then he was suggesting, after I told him about the book, then he was suggesting, why don't you do some research on Chanakya Shastra and write its applicability in the current situation. I said, I heard about it, but I not ready to do it. But if you are going to be co-author, I'll do that. So he agreed to be a co-author. We don't know when we are going to take up this project. If possible, sir, we can complete it by next Independence Day. No, there are a lot of issues which are involved in publication of the book also, which I came to know in practical experience. So, practically speaking, if we can bring it by Independence Day, that itself is a great thing. But it's going to be very, very dry subject, not like Rama's devotion. Hopefully, I will try to do that. Thank you very much.
This was a wonderful evening, and we heard different viewpoints about this book and Dharma as well. Mr. Gauss spoke about mutual respect as an enduring value of Dharma. We had Mr. Ramesh Chandra give us an insight about Jewistic personality of Lord Rama. Mr. Raja spoke about status of Dharma in today's contemporary environment. We had our chief guest, Justice T.M.C. Rangarajan, talking about dynamic nature of Dharma and how we should adapt to Dharma, or Dharma should adapt to the times now. We also thank all the extempore speakers who have come on the stage and shared a few words and insights with us. I also thank Mr. Prahalad, the Purohit of Anjaneya Swami Temple, for coming here on this evening and reciting all the mantras. I thank Mr. Dr. Prem Sandri for guiding us and also being the backbone of the whole event. We thank Y Foundation organization, especially Arya and Vish, for co-hosting with us. We thank the management of the auditorium for providing us with this venue and also ensuring that all the arrangements are taken care of. We thank each one of you for attending this event and making it a huge success. We thank each and everyone, like the sound system, the cameras, the lights, for making this event seamless and successful. And once again, I heartily thank each one of you. And now we will end this session with the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हे